Level 1, the discharge. You get out on a Thursday. No ceremony, no parade. A cardboard box with your personal items, a handshake from a colonel who doesn't remember your name, and a DD-214 that says you're no longer the military's problem. 8 years, 3 deployments, 2 commendations that mean nothing outside the wire. You walk out of the gate with $4,300 in savings, a duffel bag, and a skill set the civilian world doesn't have a job posting for. The Transition Assistance Program gives you a binder, resume templates, interview tips, how to translate military experience into corporate language. Team leader becomes project manager. Combat operations become crisis management. You sit in the class with 30 other veterans staring at a PowerPoint that was designed by someone who has never seen the inside of a FOB. You fill out the worksheets. You smile at the right moments. You throw the binder away in the parking lot. The apartment is in Fayetteville because that's where you know people. Former teammates, guys from the unit, the gravitational pull of the only community that understands what you came from. The walls are white. The carpets are beige. The neighbors argue about parking spaces. You lie on the mattress you bought at a military surplus sale and stare at the ceiling at 3 a.m. while your body refuses to believe the threat level has dropped. You apply for security jobs. Private sector, corporate protection, hospital security. The interviews are polite and useless. They want certifications you don't have and experience they can't measure. One hiring manager asks if you've ever handled a stressful situation. You think about Fallujah. You say yes. She writes something on her notepad. You don't get a call back. The money starts running out around month 3. A former team sergeant texts you. A name. A number. A vague description of work overseas. Good pay. No questions about certifications. The only qualification that matters is whether you can do the job. You've been doing the job your entire adult life. You just stopped getting paid for it. You call the number. That's how it starts. Not with ideology. Not with some grand mercenary awakening. With a mattress in Fayetteville and a bank account running toward zero and a phone call from a man who knows what you're worth. You say yes before he finishes explaining. Level 2, the contractor. The company isn't called a mercenary company. It's called a private security firm, a defense solutions provider, a strategic risk consultancy. The language is deliberate. Mercenary is illegal under international law in most jurisdictions. Contractor is just business. You sign a contract that runs 40 pages and says very little about what you'll actually be doing. The compensation section is clear enough. $12,000 a month, tax-free if structured correctly, hazard pay on top for designated zones. More money than you made in a year wearing a uniform. You ship to Baghdad first. Not because Baghdad is the worst assignment, but because it's where the infrastructure is. Years of war have built an entire economy around private security. Compounds, logistics networks, weapons caches, local fixers who know every checkpoint and every officer and the price of both. You work protective detail for an oil company executive who is terrified of everything and understands nothing. You drive his routes. You sweep his rooms. You stand in lobbies while he takes meetings that will make him richer and mean nothing to you. The work is boring 90% of the time. That's the part they don't tell you. The movies show firefights and extractions and dramatic last-second decisions. The reality is hours in vehicles, scanning the same streets until your eyes blur. Waiting in hotel corridors. Running the same routes until you know every pothole and vendor and sightline from memory. The boredom is tactical. Boredom means nothing went wrong. Boredom means everyone is alive. The other 10% is something different entirely. A vehicle cuts into your convoy outside Mosul. Standard intimidation tactic, probably. Or maybe not. The decision takes less than 2 seconds. You make it correctly. The vehicle backs off. Your principal never looks up from his phone. He doesn't know how close the calculation ran. He doesn't ask. That's the arrangement. He pays for ignorance. You provide it. You meet the other contractors in the compound. Former British SAS. Former Australian SASR. Former French Foreign Legion. Former South African Recce's. A loose international brotherhood connected by training pedigree and contract rates and the specific psychology that makes men choose this life over the alternatives. Nobody talks about why they're here in any meaningful way. The why is understood without language. You all made the same calculation. Skills plus opportunity plus risk tolerance equals a choice that looks crazy from the outside and inevitable from the inside. The money arrives in your account on the first of every month without drama or delay. You send half home. Savings account that grows for the first time in your adult life. The other half disappears into the compound economy. Decent food, satellite internet, the specific luxuries that matter in places where most luxuries don't exist. You sleep better than you did in Fayetteville. The threat is real here, which means the alertness is appropriate, which means the 3 a.m. ceiling staring finally has a legitimate reason behind it. Your contract runs 6 months. Then another 6. Then a year. At some point, this stops being a temporary solution and starts being your life. You don't notice exactly when the line crosses. You just look up one day and realize you haven't thought about getting out in a very long time. Level 3, the specialist. Your reputation travels faster than you do.